A hush falls over the crowds. The air is thick with anticipation, a collective breath held in unison. It's a moment that transcends the ordinary, a pause that speaks volumes about the gravity of the occasion. Millions are glued to screens, both tiny and massive, across the land. From cozy living rooms to bustling public squares, eyes are fixed on the unfolding drama. It's a shared experience, a rare instance where the nation comes together, united in their focus. It's a sight Britain knows well, this gathering for moments of national significance. These events, steeped in tradition and history, serve as touchstones for the collective memory of the nation. They remind us of who we are and where we come from. But what does it mean now, in this new age, to be British? In a world that's constantly changing, the very essence of British identity is being questioned and redefined. The diversity of its people and the modernity of its cities paint a complex picture. The coronation of King Charles III, a ceremony steeped in ancient ritual, unfolded against a backdrop of modern anxieties. The grandeur of the event contrasts sharply with the uncertainties that loom large in the minds of many. Economic uncertainty, political fragmentation, and a world grappling with its own tumultuous present, these are the realities of Britain today. The challenges are manifold, and the path forward is anything but clear. Yet, how did we arrive at this point? The journey has been long and winding, marked by both triumphs and setbacks. Each chapter in the nation's history has contributed to the complex tapestry that is modern Britain. Ours is an island story, yes, but one forever intertwined with the wider currents of history. The geographical isolation has never meant cultural or political isolation. Britain's story is one of interaction and influence, both given and received. From the Roman legions marching across our shores to the echoes of empire that still reverberate, understanding Britain requires a journey through time. Each era has left its mark, shaping the nation in profound ways. It's a tale of triumphs and tragedies, of global power and internal struggles, of innovation and introspection. The highs and lows, the victories and defeats, all contribute to the rich narrative of this island nation. Over the next few minutes, we'll embark on a whirlwind tour of this remarkable saga. We'll explore the pivotal moments that have defined the nation, the events that have left an indelible mark on its character. We'll delve into the forces that shaped a small island kingdom into a global empire and explore the challenges and opportunities that define its present. The legacy of the past is ever present, influencing the present and shaping the future. As we navigate this intricate tapestry, one question will remain central. What is the legacy, and what does the future hold for this island nation we call Britain? The answers are complex, but they are crucial to understanding the path forward. Our story begins long before the Union Jack flew, before even the whisper of great was attached to Britain. The land we now call the British Isles was a tapestry of tribal territories, each with its own customs, languages, and leaders. In 55 BC, Julius Caesar, the Roman general with an eye for conquest, first set foot on British soil. His arrival was not just a military maneuver, but a statement of Rome's ambition to expand its influence to the farthest corners of the known world. Though his initial forays were more probes than permanent settlements, they marked the beginning of Roman influence that would leave an indelible mark. The Romans brought with them their advanced engineering, military prowess, and a vision of civilization that was both awe-inspiring and imposing. They marked the beginning of Roman influence that would leave an indelible mark. Roads, baths, and towns sprang up, testaments to Roman ingenuity, transforming the landscape and the lives of the native Britons. Roads, baths, and towns sprang up, testaments to Roman ingenuity. But the spirit of the native Britons, particularly the fierce tribes north of Hadrian's Wall, never truly succumbed. These tribes, known for their warrior culture and resilience, continued to resist Roman rule, maintaining their traditions and way of life. But the spirit of the native Britons, particularly the fierce tribes north of Hadrian's Wall, never truly succumbed. With the decline of Roman power in the 5th century AD, a new chapter began. The once mighty Roman Empire, stretched thin and facing pressures from all sides, began to withdraw its legions from Britain, leaving a power vacuum. With the decline of Roman power in the 5th century AD, a new chapter began. Across the North Sea came waves of Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, Germanic tribes seeking new lands. These tribes, driven by a combination of overpopulation, climate change, and the lure of fertile lands, began to migrate and settle in Britain. Across the North Sea came waves of Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, Germanic tribes seeking new lands. They pushed back the existing Celtic Britons, establishing their own kingdoms in a patchwork of Anglo-Saxon rule. This period of migration and settlement was marked by both conflict and assimilation as the newcomers integrated with the local populations. They pushed back the existing Celtic Britons, establishing their own kingdoms and a patchwork of Anglo-Saxon rule. It was a time of upheaval and change, where the foundations of English language and culture began to take root. The Anglo-Saxons brought with them their own languages, which would eventually evolve into Old English, and their own customs, which would blend with those of the native Britons. It was a time of upheaval and change where the foundations of English language and culture began to take root. Christianity, brought by missionaries like St. Augustine in 597 AD, gradually spread, intertwining with existing pagan beliefs. This new faith brought with it new ideas, new art, and new ways of thinking, which would leave a lasting impact on the culture and society of Britain. Christianity, brought by missionaries like St. Augustine in 597 AD, gradually spread, intertwining with existing pagan beliefs. The Venerable Bede, a monk writing in the 8th century, provides a glimpse into this world, a time of learning, faith, and the constant struggle for power between rival kingdoms. His works, particularly the ecclesiastical history of the English people, offer invaluable insights into the early medieval period of Britain. The Venerable Bede, a monk writing in the 8th century, provides a glimpse into this world, a time of learning, faith, and the constant struggle for power between rival kingdoms. From the ashes of Roman Britannia, a New England was being forged. This New England was a melting pot of cultures, ideas, and traditions which would eventually give rise to the nation we know today. From the ashes of Roman Britannia, a New England was being forged. The legacy of these early centuries can still be seen today in the language we speak, the laws we follow, and the cultural heritage we cherish. It was a time of transformation, laying the groundwork for the rich tapestry of history that would follow. The Norman Conquest of 1066, a date etched in the memory of every British schoolchild, marks another pivotal turn. William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, defeated the English King Harold at the Battle of Hastings, forever altering the course of English history. The Normans, with their sophisticated administration and military prowess, brought about significant changes. French became the language of the court, castles dotted the landscape, and a new social order emerged. The following centuries witnessed a succession of powerful monarchs who expanded English territories, consolidated power, and laid the groundwork for what would become a global empire. From Richard the Lionheart's crusades to the 100 Years' War against France, England projected its power outward, while internally it grappled with challenges like the Black Death and the Peasants' Revolt. The reign of Henry VIII in the 16th century saw the English Reformation, a seismic shift away from the Catholic Church that reverberated throughout Europe. Henry's quest for a male heir and his break with Rome led to the establishment of the Church of England, with the monarch as its head. This period also witnessed the rise of English naval power, setting the stage for exploration and expansion across the globe. Section 4. The Victorian Colossus and its discontents. The 19th century saw Britain transformed into the world's preeminent power. The Industrial Revolution, fueled by coal, steam and iron, transformed Britain from an agricultural society into an industrial powerhouse. Factories sprang up, railways crisscrossed the land, and cities swelled with people seeking opportunity. This era, often associated with Queen Victoria's long reign, became synonymous with British power and prestige. The British Empire, upon which the sun never set, stretched across continents, encompassing vast territories in Asia, Africa, and the Americas. While this brought immense wealth and influence to Britain, it also came at a cost. Millions were subjected to colonial rule, their resources exploited, and their cultures often suppressed. The seeds of resistance to colonialism were sown, destined to bloom in the following century. Within Britain itself, the Industrial Revolution created a stark divide between the haves and the have-nots. While the wealthy elite prospered, the working class endured harsh conditions in factories and mines. Social reformers and activists like Charles Dickens and Friedrich Engels brought attention to the plight of the poor, sparking debates about inequality, poverty, and the very nature of progress. Section 5. The 20th Century Wars, Welfare and Wind of Change. The 20th century dawned with Britain still a dominant force, but the century proved to be one of dramatic upheaval and transformation. The world was on the brink of unprecedented change, and Britain was at the heart of it all. Two world wars, fought on a scale unimaginable in previous eras, tested the nation's resolve and irrevocably altered the global order. The First World War, known as the Great War, saw millions of young men sent to the front lines where they faced the horrors of trench warfare and new deadly technologies. Victory came at a heavy price, with millions dead and the country physically and emotionally drained. The Second World War brought even greater devastation, with the Blitz bombing campaign leaving London and other cities in ruins. The resilience of the British people during these dark times became legendary, symbolised by the enduring image of Winston Churchill's defiant speeches. The post-war period saw the rise of the welfare state, a safety net designed to protect citizens from cradle to grave. This era marked a significant shift in government policy, focusing on social welfare and public services. The introduction of social security, unemployment benefits and public housing aimed to provide a better quality of life for all citizens. The National Health Service, a cornerstone of this system, provided free healthcare for all, a radical idea that became a source of national pride. Established in 1948, the NHS revolutionized healthcare in Britain, ensuring that medical services were accessible to everyone regardless of their financial situation. However, the loss of empire and the economic challenges of rebuilding led to periods of austerity and social unrest. The post-war economy struggled to recover, and rationing continued for several years. Industrial decline and unemployment became pressing issues, leading to strikes and protests. The latter half of the century witnessed the dismantling of the British Empire, as colonies fought for and gained independence. This decolonization process was often tumultuous, with conflicts and negotiations marking the end of British rule in many regions. India's independence in 1947 was a watershed moment, marking the end of an era. The departure of British rule in India inspired other colonies to seek their own paths to independence, reshaping the global political landscape. Britain grappled with its imperial legacy, facing difficult questions about its past conduct and its place in a rapidly changing world. The end of empire forced Britain to redefine its national identity and its role on the international stage. The influx of immigrants from former colonies added to the nation's social and cultural fabric, creating a more diverse, multicultural society. This new diversity brought both challenges and opportunities as Britain navigated its way through the complexities of a post-imperial world, embracing new cultural influences while striving to maintain social cohesion.